Hi, everybody. This is Chris.
And this is Matt.
And Matt, I can't stand
Yes.
it. I know you planned it, but I'm going to set it straight this Watergate.
Nice. That's a
Telling
good
all
one.
y'all, it's Telengard.
Sabotage. That one I got. I often miss
No,
your references on the openings, but
I
that
would have
one
been
I
very
am.
sad if you didn't get a Beastie Boys
That's my
reference.
jam.
It's going to say, like,
This is the first concert I ever went to was the Beastie Boys.
was it?
That's a good first concert.
That is a good first concert.
Unlike my brother, you know what his first concert
What was
was?
his first concert?
MC Hammer at the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center. Probably more cred on our show for the you know, the nostalgia and the cheese
Hmm.
factor, but
Yeah.
arguably Beastie Boys had that more staying power. What was your first concert?
Um,
Bless you.
my first concert, I'm trying to remember. Like,
It
I
was
think
probably
it was.
Weird Al.
I was gonna say I think it's Weird Al, but it might be Damn Yankees.
Hmm. Nice. A super group, eh?
Right?
Way to break on the scene.
Um, it was one of my friends' graduations, and that's why I'm trying to remember. Like, did I end up at Weird Al? I think Mom got me tickets when I was in high school, so that's why I think that was technically first. But
Very
for
nice.
over graduation summer, I ended up at a Damn Yankees concert with somebody. I don't get
Like a fair?
concerts. Yeah,
At a
like a fair.
fairground or
Both
a
were fairs.
stadium?
Both
Yeah.
Weird Al and Damn Yankees were fair concerts, which
I
just
saw Weird Al at a fair also, which
yeah.
is like that's that's a lot of people's first concerts. I'll bet are at like
Oh, I
shitty
bet.
county
Yeah.
fairs.
Um, did he tell you the name of his backup singers? Like when you were at the concert, you'd remember it.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he had like some backup singers come out, and he announced them as the Yankettes. And I'm like, that's unfortunate. Even as a kid, I was like,
Who also could be the backup singers for the damn Yankees.
Also, I had not considered that tie-in.
Full circle.
Full
It's
circle,
almost like we planned this discussion,
which
but
we
we don't
didn't,
plan anything.
which is why
Yes.
we are several minutes in and only now getting to the thing that the title of the video is about.
Yep.
Telling
And it's
guard.
not a review, by the way.
Never a review. We don't review it here. We play it for a month. Usually about a month, maybe less if we're not getting into it, or more if we are.
Hmm.
And then we come back and talk about it. Two friends talking about a game they played over the last little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes we played them when we were young. Sometimes we did not.
right. And this conversation will go wherever it goes. It might stay completely on here in the history of Avalon Hill and their games, or it might, we might talk about damn Yankees for a while. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we're just doing it.
I'm just doing it. I'm gonna get it playing here in the background.
Yeah, let's get it going. So what version of okay, so Telengard 1983.
Commodore 64.
I played DOS.
Oh,
I'm interested to see what this looks like.
I am going to bet not much better, but you know the rule, dude. Nothing before 88 in DOS.
Yeah, I know. I know
You
the rule. I broke the
you
rule though.
broke the rule. You brought whatever pain you experienced on yourself. I can't.
You know why I do it because I have a really good DOS box setup,
Yeah.
and like when I run my own, because like so oftentimes you get games that are packaged with DOS box,
Hmm.
but when I run my own DOS box, mwah,
Oh, I
it's like
know.
the screen is just the right size, the drives are all mounted. It's just a pleasure.
Yeah. No, once you get your own DOS box set up and running, it's nice to just be able to go in there.
Yeah.
I've toyed with like, it's why I'm actually looking at FreeDOS. Like, I want to set a computer up with FreeDOS and just see
Yeah.
how that runs because part of me's like, I kind of just miss DOS as an operating system.
It was nice.
It was. I understand why we need a more GUI styled for the mass population, but I don't know. I miss command line and I liked
Me too.
the DOS command line. So,
Yeah. Now I'm all Linux
are you?
in my personal life. Yeah.
I am moments away.
You got to do it. It's like so. Let's not. Let's talk about Telengard.
Let's talk about Telengard. Let me do the cheesy
Let's
YouTube
try.
thing and say, if you want to know more about Linux and our views on these things, join us on Discord and in the chat and
Yeah.
in the comments below. And
Subscribe on Patreon.
like our comments, share our views. Mostly share our views. Share them.
Yes. Mandatory view sharing.
Mandatory. And I don't mean like share the video around. I mean, you must have our views. You must
Yes.
have them.
Yep. If there's any question, let us know on Discord and we will tell you what your views are.
Right. And if we disagree, figure out.
Yep.
That's on you.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
That's why when you got to find out if you're a Chris or a Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you the sexy one or the hot
Whose
one?
views do you feel are less reprehensible?
Right. Oh, so you're
Okay.
trying to drive them all to you, is what you're trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daniel Lawrence made this game.
Sorry, Daniel.
Avalon Hill. Yeah.
We didn't mean to take so long to get to your.
It's it's kind of the granddaddy of the roguelike games,
One of them, yeah.
because Rogue is like the genesis of roguelike games, but like this, Tunnels of Doom.
Yeah,
kinda
I mean, Rogue is the one that crystallized it, but there were roguelike games before Rogue,
For sure.
but not many.
And it's one of those early 80s games that's just a dungeon crawl. Like this
Yes.
isn't a role-playing thing. It's kind of like wizardry in that sense where it's just like you're just like in the dungeon. It's all the dungeon.
Well,
Uh,
and here's what I was going to ask you about this. What do you think about the fact that there is no end goal? There's no plot. There's no you have to
Right.
do X, Y, or Z.
I didn't find it objectionable. I ended up viewing this game like a candy bar. You don't like go out to dinner and order a candy bar. It's just a little snack.
Mhm.
You're gonna like play it for 10 minutes. You're gonna get killed. Like maybe you get to like level 3 or 4, maybe. If you play it like it was designed to be played, it's Iron Man.
Yep.
When you die, your save game is no longer there.
Right.
Like you're done.
Right.
So I don't mind that there was no plot. It was just like, let's see what I stumble across, and then when you find things that are new, it's exciting, and it's like, oh, cool, a throne. Like, what happens? What happens if I walk into the cube? It's fun. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. But man, it's a motherfucker. Like,
it definitely has that old school D&D feel where death is around every corner and no one makes it to level 5, and you're either into that or you're not.
Right. My experience was the first time I booted it up, and I'm just going to say right now, the Pit was my first game, first square, first game, first hit, killed.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay.
This is how we're doing things.
Like, oh,
well,
I didn't even know what it was like.
Yeah. I will just kind of brief everybody here. This video we're watching goes for about half an hour. I don't know if we'll make it through all of it. And all of my guys are named Nanak with a number at the end because it's Conan backwards. And
Nice.
then what version? I get to 8.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time I was like, oh, it's a character rolling game. Okay, like here's the kind of character I think that I'll play, and I will not settle for less than an 18 in strength. No, sir, not
Mm-mm.
for me. First first time in there, you're dead. Like you're dead, buddy.
I think, like you said, like this is the type of character I'll play, so I'm not going to settle for less than this in my rolls, and then you die right away. I think that's something modern players don't understand about that old D&D is it was lethal. Even the pen and paper was lethal. So rolling for stats was fine. It was fun because you really never knew what you were going to get, and it didn't matter because you could have straight 18s. You might die in the next room because
Yeah,
you start with 6 hit points.
right.
And in original, you start with 6 hit points, and all the weapons do d6. So,
Right.
I'd say do the math, but you really don't have to do much math to subtract 6 from 6. It's not that hard.
Right. Yeah, this was like he wrote the game as D&D in like 76.
Right. So we are
So
talking that
it's
era.
like very much D&D.
Yeah, we're talking 3 brown books as the influence to this. So
Right. So yeah, so I rolled my second character. I was like, oh well, you know, things can go bad quick, but I still kind of care. And
Mhm.
then by like my fourth or fifth character, I was just like, whatever. Like,
right.
you know, your name's Bob. Everyone's name is Bob. Like, doesn't matter. And then I was like, I like manufactured this stressful episode where I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get back to the inn so I can save my game. No, Matt. Like, you don't have to do that because you don't get to restore.
not
I thought like
not the
I,
speed you're gonna go through, guys. No.
no. Well, you the point of the save game is to let you leave and come back.
Yes.
It's not to get your character back if you die.
Right.
That's
It's let
not
you
a
stop
thing.
playing. No.
It's just like on the off chance you've lived longer than 8 minutes,
Right.
you can come back to it.
Now, that said, if this was back in the day and I got a character to 5th level, I'm backing up that disc.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and
that
you can
that character's getting locked in.
you can save scum this and like if you want, but I don't know.
It's
Like
also in basics, so you can actually go in the code and tool around with it.
yeah, God bless basic.
I love basic. There are some tips. Don't let me get out of here without like giving some how to play tips, because there are things you can do that make it a little better. And if you're watching, you'll see me do them, but I want to spell them out too.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know, there's what 50 levels in the dungeon?
sure.
Yeah, you're never going to see.
I don't
I mean,
know.
if you step into the cube, I think you get to say like I want to go to
Oh no! If you
level
step into the
50.
cube, you just go somewhere.
Oh, really? I thought it
Yeah.
asked you.
It didn't ask me. Not in the Commodore
Oh,
version anyway. I just go somewhere.
for some reason I thought it asked me. Um so my experience was that, and then so I played it for a while, and I got some characters that got to level 2, level 3, and
Mhm.
you know, they all ended up dying, and then I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm not I'm missing like cuz that happens to me. Like I'll play games and I'll just like forget that I can cast spells and
Right.
stuff like that. But I was doing all that. So I went and watched some YouTube videos of other people playing this, and they had the exact same experience. I think that's the experience of Telengard. So that's when I kind of realized this is just a little snack of a game.
You can you can do better by playing smart, but you can't eliminate luck completely.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it in a nutshell. Like you could be doing everything right and it'll just drop a level 5 demon on you
Mm-hmm.
and hit you before you can even attack and you're dead.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you get a high enough level, eventually you'll start to like be able to tank anything, but you have to get so lucky for so long
Right.
that so really like my tips for everyone, since we're kind of at that point, I think, are never go more than 2 steps from the stairs until you're level 2 or 3.
Yep.
Like,
That
'cause
is exactly it.
leaving the dungeon turns all the gold you've gathered into experience,
Right.
which, if you find a good pile, can be huge.
Right. Yeah, you that's the grind is the grind is not the first floor. The grind is the first four steps.
Yeah. And then you start to be able to break away a little bit, and it does get harder the deeper you go, but that doesn't mean you aren't going to get stomped right up front if you're not
Hmm.
paying attention. The other thing is that SU, that spell units or whatever they call it,
Hmm.
um, leaving refreshes that. So you get like one spell, which means you basically get one combat,
Hmm.
and then you need to go refresh that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those games too where you can like have good equipment and accidentally pick up worse equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah, so don't do that. I
don't do
did
that.
that for sure. It's
Um,
just it's not nice to
but
you.
the spells at level 1 are clutch. They're absolutely, you
They're
have
good,
to
yeah.
cast sleep. Like, I watched one guy play and he kept casting magic missile. I'm like, that's why you're dying. Like,
Hmm.
really old school players know, like, magic missile's nice, but sleep's where it's at.
Hmm.
Just being able to, it basically is insta kill if the thing fails its save.
Right.
And then turn undead for the rest of them, and then I barely
Yeah,
used.
you got to know your turn undead.
Yeah. And
It definitely helps to know the monsters, and that's part of getting better at this, because like you can't go by the level. A
no,
level 1 ghoul is not the same as a level 1 demon,
right.
and you'll meet both of them,
Yes.
like for sure. So
No, one time
use
my first monster was a level 5 demon, and I'm like,
yep.
you know, level 5 demon hits you for 27 damage, you're dead. I'm like, okay.
Telengard. Guess I'm rolling up another one.
Yeah.
Give me another Nanok. I'm going back in.
But it was, and there's also a thing to consider from the time, and it is important to consider some of these games from the time they came out. I can't think of many games where the intention was to sit down for hours and play. Like, it was very much the arcadey era of game design.
Yeah. Yeah, early 80s for sure.
Yeah. So having something that you play for a little bit, it was just the start of, oh, what if we did more than that? That'd be better.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
No.
It sucks and you die, but like that's the game. And
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Did you hate it or not?
no, I was once I got over the idea that I was going to go on some adventure
Mm-hmm.
and like crawl to the bottom of this dungeon and rescue the princess or whatever, then I was like I was fine
Yeah.
because you
It
just
is what it
die.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like it's cool because you find stuff and it's new and you kind of learn your way around the dungeon a little bit and you have some tense moments and
Yeah.
sometimes when things are going well it feels good and you start winning battles and all that stuff.
Yeah. I was just thinking I was going to look up how many hours this guy has in on stuff, but I can't do that without sort of messing up all the cameras. But one of my friends, who you know, keeps telling me they don't want to play any game for more than 20 hours. The 20-hour game is too long. Spending that much time on a game at this stage in their life, too long.
Really?
Hundreds of hours on FTL. Hundreds of hours
Really?
on Civ. I think it comes down to, they want that smaller bite-sized content. And I was going to ask, I hear that from a lot of people, but in some of these games I'm playing for 30 seconds, do we think there's a floor? Is there a bottom?
Yeah. What's the shortest game that can still be fun? I think it might be Telengard, really.
It might be.
Yeah.
The thing, we'll talk about Pinnacle and Pit in a second. I was laughing at something and you asked what, and I said I'd mention it here. Norman Browditch provided an early review for Telengard in December 1982, saying, Telengard could have been a good game, but it's mired by poor programming and lack of polish. If you don't want to rewrite it yourself, wait for the second edition. Damn!
Wow. Poor program. I didn't have any issues with the programming. Did you?
No, so I'm wondering if we got the second edition or something, because
Yeah.
it's fine. The slow draw-in speed is a thing.
That makes it hard to keep it in your head exactly where you are sometimes because,
I was going to
need
ask
that
you about that.
continuity.
Like, I know you sometimes have directional difficulties with like 3D mazes,
Yes,
and I
that's
can
true.
usually stomach them just fine. But this one, I regularly found myself going, "Where the hell am I again?" like,
Right.
even
Right.
and even after one step, I'm like, "Wait, wait, wait."
The way it draws in like the stairs and like the boxes and anything that you find makes it even more confusing because it's like often not just there,
Right.
and so it kind of screws up your sense of where things are in the level.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. It's
And
Telengard.
yeah, I thought uh, at the beginning that the randomness of the dungeon also meant the walls were random. So I don't know how many games I was in before all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, this dungeon isn't random. Like it was the
Yeah.
Wolfenstein moment of I could be mapping this. I could be like actually figuring some stuff out and not just flailing around to my doom.
Right. Yeah. Or you could flail around to your doom because even if you had a map, it's like you're still very much at the mercy of the random number generator.
A little bit, but the thing that triggered me on starting the map was getting teleported somewhere
Mm-hmm. Right.
and being like, if I knew where I was, I might get out. Because like right now, and this is you're actually watching it on screen right now. That's hilarious. I've got 1,200 XP. This
Mm-hmm.
guy's gonna die with 4,000 gold. If I could have gotten
Oh
out,
yeah.
I
Yep.
I could have been a contender.
Yep. You gotta get out. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's nice that there is that tension. For me, I felt like the tension was getting to save my game, but
Yeah.
really, what that is that you have to get out
Right. It's
to get
getting
the
out to cash in
levels.
that gold, get some levels, get all that.
This Bob Ross dwarf.
I love it. The
It's
giant
great.
was the first one where I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that wasn't the guy who died with 4,000. It's coming. But yeah, there's a guy who like got to level 2 or 3, got teleported, and then just had a stack of cash, and I had no idea where I was and
Yep.
couldn't find my way out.
Yeah. Let's Telengard.
Yeah. A lot of other people liked it. They said it was simple but addictive, which I think is correct.
Yeah,
It
you
gives you
always
that
kind of
little
want to
bite
see
of D
what's
and D.
right. Yeah. Some other games that they made, there were
Oh,
quite a
Avalon
few
Hill.
Avalon Hill games. Uh, Railroads and Robber Barons, which I swore was some other company, but is not.
No,
It's Avalon Hill. B-1 Nuclear Bomber.
nice.
Their last game, World at War Stalingrad in
Yeah.
1995. I don't think I played many of their games.
No, and it's one we should probably fix because I've always meant to get into early strategy games on computer, and
Mm-hmm.
that's sort of where Avalon Hill's bread and butter was because that's what they were on
Right.
tabletop and where they came from.
Yeah.
Um,
Turn-based air combat,
yeah,
you know, stuff like that.
yeah. And so I want to go
Strategy.
back and check a bunch of their stuff out, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
I do it.
yeah.
But which one? Nuke War? We got to play Nuke
No,
War.
we've got to play Nuke War. Are you
Yeah.
sure? I know what game you want to play.
What?
Came out in 1985.
Oh, War Games?
No, the
What is it?
Dr. Ruth Game of Good Sex.
Oh, that's a board game, I
Is
think.
it a board game?
They also published a ton of board games,
Well,
and one
right.
of
I mean,
them,
that was their. Oh, you're right. I am looking in their board games.
yeah,
Maybe
I
we'll have
know,
to have a board game night.
just so we can do Dr. Ruth's game of
Yes,
good
game of
sex.
sex.
A Baltimore distributor said, "I'm going to have to compare this to Trivial Pursuit. The orders overshadow anything we've had in our company's 100-year history."
Oh my god.
Hmm.
Also, can we just stop for a moment of company's 100-year history?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
what's
I'd
that
love
about?
to see what they do. Space Station Zulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made a lot of games, which
Mhm.
is, I guess, because we didn't travel in strategy circles, we probably just like missed the
No.
Avalon Hill train.
Yeah, I mean, I knew of them, but I didn't do much, and a lot of it was because I got Dragon Magazine and they advertised heavily in there.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
all right.
So,
Uh,
Mary Fuck Kill. Tunnels of Doom, Telengard, Dwarf Fort, or Rogue.
Kill Rogue.
Kill Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to marry Telengard or fuck Telengard?
Fuck Telengard and marry Tunnels of Doom. I don't, Rogue is a game that I understand the appeal, but I feel like it's meant to be a simple quick play game like this, but at the same time has a bunch of complexity to it. So
Mm-hmm.
you can get really into it and still die suddenly.
Hmm.
And I don't know. It's like combining the worst parts of all the things we just said. Where,
Yeah.
how about you? Would you do same order or you got a different
I
feel?
would do the same, but in this for the sake of transparency, I never played Rogue.
Oh,
I played a bunch of roguelikes, but never
yes.
the OG.
Never the OG Rogue with the little
So
at
I'll
symbol.
kill it on your recommendation.
Okay. Kill it because I don't know it. It's easier if
Yeah,
you've never seen its face.
that's right. That's right.
Watch
I'll,
it be
I'll,
like your
I'll,
favorite game of all time. We finally get you to play it. You're like, why did you keep this from me? It should have been game one, you asshole.
I'll fuck Telengard, but it's going to be over in 45 seconds.
Well, I figured I can't let it down if it's given that to me.
Exactly.
Pinnacle and Pit, Matt.
I mean, the pit was my first encounter in the first game I played. The pinnacle was getting to level 3 and like feeling like there's a game here. It's not
Yes.
just like I'm not just going to hurl myself at this and just die.
Right.
So I started to play a little smarter, made a little progress, and then it was felt like something. It'll still kill you unceremoniously, but at least you get the experience of leveling up,
Mm-hmm.
and
You feel like you're a little more in control, that it's not completely off the rails once you kind of ease into
yeah.
it. My
What
pinnacle
about
was
you?
learning I could map. Like learning
Yeah.
that there's something that even if my characters aren't permanent, the dungeon in some ways is.
Hmm.
Was just a really good feeling because it's like, okay, I can get better at exploring, and it gave me objectives to do. So like I said, there's no
Right.
end game, but having blank pieces of map to try and go fill in, well, that's something to actually kind of do. That's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
But for me, the pit, I can't stand these graphics. I
Yeah, the
know it's
graphics are real bad.
1983, and they're fine for the time, but
Hmm.
I'm really struggling with them. I hate the dopey little dude. I just
Hmm.
and when we eventually get to Temple of Upshai, I'm gonna say the same thing. It's the graphics for both of these turned me off back in the day, and they still do today.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
That said, I'm more over it than I was then, and I will probably play this again because it is quick. It is
Yeah.
something I like. I want to play a RPG, but I don't want to, put a lot of time into it. So
Right.
this will be that.
Yeah. That's this.
That's this. So, all right. Anything else on this?
No, I think that's all I have to say about Telengard and a bunch of other things that we talked about.
Okay, then we know what
Whoops.
our next this sort of game is. Demon's Forge.
Yes, yes.
I don't even know if we're on short or long games anymore. We're just sort of on games right
I
now.
was going to ask you, was Telengard a short or a long game? I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
Okay.
We'll eventually get sort of back on a schedule, but right now, every couple weeks, we're just going to do this, and in between weeks, we're going to try and cram through Nox. We're almost done with Nox.
Yeah, I think once we get done with Knox, and maybe our work lives will calm down a tiny bit, and then I think we'll be ready for like a big, good old fashioned
Undertaken. Yeah.
undertaking. Yeah, so bear with us.
Yes.
You know,
I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something. So okay, so Demon's Forge. I'm looking forward to it. I brought you Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils as sort of a
Yes.
what's your floor, and that wasn't it. I'm still looking, but in that video, somebody suggested something that was on our list, and I had forgotten I wanted to do it, and so we're doing it.
Okay.
Swashbuckler.
Oh, nothing looks wrong here.
Have you never played this?
No, this looks awesome.
It's on Apple too, and yeah, I mean, don't expect big things, but at the same time, I think you're gonna have a good time. I think you're gonna have some
I'm
fun.
already having a good time. Who made it? What's the name on the bottom?
Did Swashbuckler.
Sepp Renson. That's how I'm reading that.
Paul Stephenson.
No,
that-
that can't be right.
That probably says Stephenson.
Stephenson. Yeah. Okay.
Publisher was Datammost. Came out in 1982. Somebody suggested it was a fighting game before Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils, which was claiming to be the first.
Ooh la la.
So I will want your take on whether or not that's true,
All right.
because I feel like it could go either way.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so that'll be
I'm
that.
excited. I like this screen.
If you have any Apple II nostalgia in you at all, I think you're about to have a lot of fun.
Great.
If you don't, I think we might find where the floor is.
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. I will find your new floor. But that's okay. All right. Anything else before we go? Otherwise,
No, I think we're good.
okay, let
Thanks,
people go
everyone.
back to their day. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Big thank you to all of you watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, suggesting games, commenting on our videos, or supporting us on Patreon. We appreciate all of your support and look forward to sharing many more videos with you. Thank you again.